The LMS webpage will look like this. Each week there will be a tile that will appear corresponding to the week you're currently in or about to begin, and within that tile will be a lesson. So if you click on that tile, the lesson appears here. So this is an interactive, an online lesson, and you are required to complete these online lessons in advance of the Wednesday morning class. So they will be made available to you on a Thursday, and then you have to the following Tuesday evening to complete the online activity. So if you click on that, it will take you to a web page that will look something like this. It will contain text. Within the text will be hyperlinks to other information or term definition. There will be pages that will contain video material or YouTube videos, which will help to explain the concepts that are being discussed on the page. You're required to work through that material so that you gain an understanding of the concepts that are being talked about. At the end of each page there will be an activity which can include short answer questions or multiple choice questions, or it might ask you to complete an exercise on a piece of paper which you bring along to the face-to-face class on a Wednesday. You will have to, though, complete that activity before you are able to move on to the next section. You will not be able to proceed unless you actually engage in that activity. So if you push the button at the end, it will take you to an activity. In this case, it's a question that asks you to enter some free text in a short answer type response. So you will need to put something in the box there and then push submit. You will not be able to continue on with no response. So here you can see that it's asking you to go back and submit your answer. So you'll need to respond to the activity and then push submit. And that will then take you on to the next page. The questions or the activities that are at the end of each page are deliberately placed there to get you to pause and to consider whether or not you're understanding the information or the concepts that are being introduced to you in the content of the page. So it's a tool there for you to ensure that as you move through the material, you are getting what it is we're asking you to get. I will also be able to view all of those responses that you've made to the questions, and that will tell me that, one, that you've completed the activities, and two, that you're also getting or not getting the concepts. And I can use that information to help me plan activities in the face-to-face learning that we do on a Wednesday morning. So all of your answers will be looked at, and I will also draw on some of those answers to form the basis of discussion in our groups. It'll be anonymous, of course, so I'll take people's names out of it. But the information that you provide in your responses is very interesting and will, across the semester, form the basis of conversations. So take it seriously and use it as a moment, as I say, to pause and just to consider whether or not you're getting each of the concepts as we move along. So that will occur each week. You will have an activity like that. The first week's activity is a relatively simple one because I'm introducing you to the concept of doing this, but there will be a stimulus video which you'll be asked to watch, and you'll be asked to make notes in response to a number of questions that I will pose to you. You'll need to bring those along to the class, and you may be asked to report back to the group on your responses to those questions. Also on the page there will be a tile which will take you to the weekly quiz. So at the end of each week, so that's after you've done this online activity and after we've done our face-to-face class, I will then make a weekly quiz available to you. Now the quiz is part of your formal assessment for the subject, and there will be somewhere between 5 to 10 questions each week, which will test your knowledge and your understanding of the material contained in each week of the course. It will form a proportion of your total mark, and so you can choose to engage in the quiz or not engage in the quiz. That's up to you, but I would suggest that it's a good idea to do that because it forms part of your formal grade for the subject. There will also be a tile with useful resources, and I will also place other information in tiles, but each week a new tile will appear which will contain the learning activity material for that week. The key to success in the subject is to do the work on a weekly basis, keep up with it. You can do it any time, in any place, as long as you have internet access. But make sure that you do it well in advance of the Wednesday morning class so that you're well prepared for the activities that take place. I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday mornings.